When did you start?
So we started in, the whole thing started in May last year.
How long did it take?
I did it in 3 parts, but it took 22 days in total. And we followed the water courses, since fracking is so related to the water.
Yeah.
So we went down the Wye for a few days, and then we crossed the Severn.
Yeah.
And then I walked from the Severn to Lechlade.
Gloucester Canal, wasn't it?
Yeah, down the Gloucester Canal a bit, and then to Lechlade, and then picked up the Thames. Just wandered down, walked down the Thames to Downing Street.
Did they let you in?
No, it was the biggest anticlimax actually. Reaching Downing Street was about 10 seconds of no, you can't come in. Oh, here's a letter for Theresa May. Then could you deliver it? No, there's a postbox over there.
Oh, really?
Because I also had a ring,
Yeah.
a ring which came from a tractor linchpin from Herefordshire, which I wanted to put into Mount Doom. You see, that was the whole idea.
Right, okay.
To put the ring through the crack of 10 Downing Street.
Right, okay.
But that didn't happen. I was thwarted. So instead, I found a much better thing to do with it. Gave it to Caroline Lucas.
Oh, okay.
So.
And how long have you been here?
Just yesterday. We arrived yesterday.
And you say we, who are you here with?
I'm here with 2 colleagues from Hereford.
Okay. Are you from Hereford as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And how long are you staying?
We're only here for the day.
Okay.
We've got to get back by tomorrow. So.
And why did you think it, I mean, obviously you're from somewhere quite far away, so why did you think it was important to come all the way up to Lancashire?
Well, this is the beginning of it, really. This is the epicenter, isn't it, at the moment, of the fracking industry. This is where they're going to start. And if we could stop it here, then hopefully we could stop it everywhere. That's the idea.
And how optimistic are you that people power can keep?
Today, very optimistic.
Yeah.
Yes, today it feels great. There's 200 people here. So, who knows?
Nice to meet you. Thanks for your time.
Great. Thanks. So, what's your name? I'm sorry. Sebastian. So you were here for the lock-on a couple of days ago, was it?
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday. Yeah. And just talk us through it. What happened?
So we had 3 arm tubes mounted in a box within a box, if you can imagine that. Okay. And so we had pretty big boxes, about 1 metre long and sort of 75 metres by 80 centimetres high, and we had those delivered on a trailer pulled by a pickup, looking very sort of conventional, while we were doing a protest here. And the Fracking Nanas, which is a group of older local women who've been like staunchly defending.
Yeah, we know the Nanas.
Yeah, you know the Nanas. Yeah, wonderful bunch. They were doing their own protest here, and the pickup just behind you here, the pickup quietly drifted to a halt. And we'd been practicing a drill whereby, at the moment that the trailer stops, to getting the boxes off the trailer on the ground and everybody locked onto them, we'd had that down to 12 seconds. In the event, it took a lot longer than that because the police were all over us in no time. But we still, in the end, against all odds, managed to get the boxes on, and all of the people who were designated lockers on, we all actually managed to get our arms up the tubes and locked on. If you're familiar with lock-ons, you have a bracelet with a carabiner and you lock onto a pin that's been welded inside the middle of the tube in the centre so that the police can't get to you. So they've got to come in from the outside, and they had to dismantle the boxes very carefully, and they have to do the whole thing very carefully because they have a duty of care basically to you. And then they have to cut through the different layers in the arm tube, which might be steel and concrete and bitumen and all kinds of things. So they have to keep changing their techniques and their blades and so on. So it takes them a long time to get.
And it's all about time, isn't it?
It's all about
time and delaying and all the rest of it.
So all the time, the boxes were more or less where we're standing here, or a little bit further along around the middle of the gateway.
Right.
And it's basically all about that. It's about physically preventing traffic from entering or leaving the site, so that work can't continue.
And there was not just you. You weren't the only generation, were you?
No, I was like the middle generation. So there was me, and then my mother, who's 73, and my niece, who's 19.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and my mother's partner was with us as well, and then 2 other friends, and of course all kinds of other people supporting the action in different ways.
Yeah, right.
We were so thrilled to make it happen. It was such a wonderful feeling to look over and have my whole family with me, all taking direct action together.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it was so wonderful.
Yeah.
And I know that they were very nervous beforehand, as you would be, you're putting yourself in a position of potential sort of personal risk and maybe confrontation, and there's always fear about, crossing a line that might put you in, to breaking, the laws and so on.
Excellent. So just tell us a little bit about, Hannah was just telling us about the drilling here and about the water, the contaminated water that was taken away in a couple of lorry loads, the containers. Do you know about that?
As far as I'm aware, there isn't clarity about what was going on with that. There had been talk that they'd hit a well, so there was a lot of surface water. They've had to take that away. Quadrilla denied that was the case. You'll need to find somebody, if there is anybody who knows something more definitively. That person isn't me. Yeah.
When you see all the unions and people like yourself who've travelled a long way to be here to support us, it really means so much.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that, it really does mean so much to us. And I don't know, it's the message that people are giving out. I'm sure you agree.
It's just not the individuals here. We come with messages, heartfelt messages of thousands from where we are, and the unions, tens of thousands. Literally, there are hundreds of thousands of people around the country with us here today, aren't there? I mean,
behind, and I think that's what's so heartwarming, because I've been down here, like I say, I was here on the very, very first day they started work, and there were 5 people there because it was unannounced. Bit by bit, support's growing, and you can see it growing as more and more people become aware of the dangers of fracking and what it entails. There's just more and more people coming along and joining in, and I really do think it's numbers that can defeat this.
Yeah, sure. And talk about numbers, when he was talking about how many jobs can be created in the green energy section.
I know.
I mean, it's astounding, isn't it? And these, it just doesn't make sense on any level whatsoever.
I know. I can't understand why Quadrilla talk about the number of jobs that this industry will bring, when we all know that renewables, energy saving projects, solar, wind, that's where the money should be. And think how many jobs there would be, and how much stronger the economy would be. I mean, I was never an environmentalist, or I never thought about these things until I got involved. But now I've started to realise
that it's all connected. The whole thing is connected, isn't it? And actually, we've got to start using less as well. We've got to start looking at the whole consumer thing. I mean, all this information about plastics in the seas and our oceans and stuff. We've just got to start using less.
I'm a typical person who I got up to nearly 60 years old, where I went through life looking after my family. I had a good job. I never thought about any of this. And now it's opened my eyes, a bit late, but it's opened my eyes, and particularly things like plastic. And I've started to do things differently in my own life. Not enough. I mean, I still use plastic, but I'm starting to think about what I do now. And hopefully more people will do that. Energy efficiency, driving your car, cycle, walk if you can. It's all part of it.
It's all part of it, yeah. And actually it makes you much happier, makes you much fitter, makes you much healthier. Actually, makes you much more sociable with people. It's a win-win situation.
You feel better as a person, because I have a love of the planet naturally, and it makes me feel better knowing that I'm doing something for future generations as well.
But you're a nana, so you got grandkids?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, okay.
I've got children who are 27, and I haven't got grandchildren yet, but I will have one day. And it's their
I've got grandchildren now, and I'm worried.
I think it's amazing what you do, amazing.
Well,
I've seen you in Manchester, and I think it's amazing that you travel and support us. And it makes me, I've got a smile on my face today. So that's brilliant.
Well, you should have too. You're doing great work, aren't you?
We're trying our best anyway.
Yeah, well done, girl.
Hopefully
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's great to see you both. Thank you.
I'm privileged to have William with us here today to tell his story. So please give it up for William Hawke.
Thank you. Well, let me bring this up here. So, what you guys are doing is a very powerful thing, and I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being here and standing for what is right. You all have a choice. You have a choice to protect the future. You have a choice to protect that future that your children are going to live in. And if you don't protect that, then you're going to be part of that crew that are going to be wishing you did. Whenever your children are sitting there with no water, depending on a company providing you with that water, whenever you have water right here in the ground, the aquifers, the natural aquifers, that's our water. It doesn't belong to anybody, it belongs to us, we, together. That is all of ours. Then you have a corporate entity that comes in, overpowers your government, but buys off your government. I mean, it's apparent. You have police protecting a corporate entity, a business. They're not protecting you. They're not protecting the water. They're protecting the business.
Yep.
And that's what we see. That's what we see in Standing Rock. That's where I'm from. I'm from Standing Rock. I'm Hunkpapa Lakota, Ogallala Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho. I'm 3 different tribes. Those tribes run through my veins. I'm indigenous to the land of my people. That's our land. And we're stewards to that land, just as the people here are stewards to the land here. Government comes in and they say, well, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do this, and we don't care what you think. We don't care what you think at all. We'll come in and we'll destroy the land. We'll come in, we'll manipulate people, we'll manipulate our government, we'll manipulate our police. This is a waste of resources. $35 million were wasted in Standing Rock for police. And now the state of North Dakota is begging our federal government for that $35 million, and our federal government said no. You're the dipshits that went ahead and utilized that resources to fight against Native American people who are only standing up for their water, who are only standing up for the land. That's what we did. I'm proud of that. Although that they completed that pipeline, although that pipeline's leaking into our river right now and destroying our water and destroying our land, I still stood up, and I'm proud of that. And we're still fighting against this. We're still fighting against this oil company. We're still fighting against fracking taking place in Oklahoma, Texas. I mean, you name it, it's happening all over our country. We have earthquakes every single day. Earthquakes in Oklahoma. There's no fault lines in Oklahoma. We shouldn't be having earthquakes in Oklahoma. Guess what's going to start happening here? You're going to start having earthquakes.
Already has.
True.
Yeah, well, there you go. They set off these high explosives, and you know what happens as soon as they finish? As soon as they finish removing, guess what they put back in?
Radioactive material.
Radioactive material. It's been taking place in the States for a very long time, and guess what? Big brother, little brother follows behind. It's going to happen here. Your water supply is going to be destroyed. Your future is going to be destroyed. Your children won't have anything to live for in this land. You guys are going to suffer. You guys are going to really suffer if you don't stand up for what's right. We had a lot of police in Standing Rock who took off their badges and they said, I'm gonna stand with you guys. Because they knew that what we were standing up for was right, and what they were standing for, what they thought they were standing for, they thought they were protecting and serving and being that, yes, I'm this very righteous person because I'm standing up for my government, I'm standing up for my people. No. They came and they stood with us. And that was one of the most powerful things. You know, a little kid, his name is Eric. He was 16 years old. He walked up to that front line while his father was in one of the LRAD vehicles. While they were pumping radio waves into us. We were getting sick standing there. And that kid said, Dad. His dad was in that truck. He said, I stand here. And I stand on the right side. And he started crying and he told his father, I wish you would see what you're doing to these people. I wish you would see what you're doing to my future. This kid, he wasn't Native American. He wasn't indigenous. But he was human. Just like you and me. And he knew that what his father was doing was wrong. I mean, these powerful things happen in Standing Rock. That spirit that lived in Standing Rock lives in me, and it lives in each and every one of you, regardless if you were there or not, because that spirit is that connection to the land, and that's what you all have to the land here. So stand up for what's right. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Sit down. Pray. Pray on these front lines. Sit down. Pray. That's what we did. Even though we got shot, I got shot. Our people got shot. Even though we got sprayed with chemicals, even though we got sprayed with a water cannon in minus 28 degrees weather, Fahrenheit, we got sick. A girl had her arm blown off, but we sat there and we continued to pray. That power of prayer is powerful. That image is powerful. Look how powerful it is, because you guys heard about it here. That's power. And I'm sharing your guys' message around the world. I'm here with you guys. Thank you.
I just wanted to come out with her actually. and lend you all our support because you did great stuff. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
What you're doing and what you did over there. Thank you. Thanks for being here today.
You guys need to do what we did here.
Yeah,
We got to do it here.
we're all together, right?
Yeah. That's why I'm here.
Yeah,
You guys should have showed your support. I'm gonna show my support.
yeah, we should.
I love you guys, and I want you guys to stand up,
Yeah,
not be afraid. Let the fear go.
that's right.
They're gonna filmmonger you, so you're not gonna let them. Right?
Cool. Yeah, that's right.
All right. Thank you. Much love.
Thank you. Hello everybody, I'm Ricardo. I'm a researcher in environmental studies here in Lex University from Brazil. I just want to say this is a beautiful movement. It's fantastic to see people here, such a beautiful country fighting for their environment. Brazil was already very explored, like many similar countries have been explored, and what I can tell from you from our history of exploration is that this is how it begins. Thank you. They're gonna say, okay, you need that so you can live better. After we do that, you're gonna live better. You don't. Maybe you have to give up some rights and then you're gonna live better. This never comes. And they go step by step, bit by bit. My friends from Latin America can assure you that. This is not, and this is not a negotiation. This is not an open negotiation. This is kind of blackmail. Okay, you need this to have a better life, that's what they say, but this doesn't come. And if you resist, they beat you up until this seems necessary. And we're losing civil rights, we're losing worker rights, we're losing environmental rights in Brazil under the promise of a better life, and I gotta tell you, it never comes. It starts like this, step by step, it starts like this. And it will never, their promises do not come, never. So thank you very much for your attention. Keep on fighting. Thank you.
Even if it was safe with knobs on, we should be against it, because this is a much better idea and will create miles more jobs. It's sustainable jobs. This pamphlet here, sorry, it's got a few stains on. It's like battle scarred, isn't it? Like, you can get copies over. Like Judy's there, she's got copies here with her.
Right.
And we've been plugging this amongst unions, and now you can see we've got Bakers Union, the communication workers, which are post office people, you know, who do deliveries, FBU, fire brigades, UCU, who run a guys,
University guys.
We've got the National Union students,
brilliant.
the TSSA, which are the transport salaried staff, the people who you know, they used to work in hotels owned by the rail industry and stuff like that. PCS Union, which is Clyde, which is your civil servants and Unite.
And actually, all together.
Well, that represents was 1.5 million there for a start, and I think Unison have since gone on board, and actually the Bakers Union one, which you can see, I've got the T-shirt. I spoke at the National Executive Committee, which got them on side. They said, "What do we get for it?" I said, "You get your little logo on the back of the pamphlet." So they didn't have pay, so I think they donate about 100 quid, but it's the political support for it. And I know that Ian Hodson, who's the president of Bakers Union, he's from Blackpool, and he used to be president of Trades Council Blackpool. They've been campaigning for this thing called Blackpool Deserves Better, and they're saying one of the things, instead of fracking like this, let's be going for these climate jobs, because actually in this pamphlet, if you look, there's a case study in it for the field.
Okay.
And the figures we quoted earlier, it says instead of like whatever it is, few jobs, because the people who do the drilling basically go from one side to another. Same with your tanker drivers, so the same people will be moving around, and what you'll get left here once it's set up is some security guards looking after it, and that's why they're talking only about 11 jobs being created here. Whereas this says here, if they went along with proposals here for file, you could create 4,500 jobs on the file, developing like offshore wind array, and obviously you got fields where you could, you know, instead of fracking it, you could have solar panels at field, couldn't they?
Of course you could.
And also, you know, schools, local schools, public buildings, well, you know,
it's endless, isn't it?
Yeah.
The list is endless. It's just.
And it's down to whether political will, really, ultimately, because it will save us money at long run on not doing it.
And what you said about the house, you know, the roof, you know, £1,000 now or £20,000 in 5 years.
10 years, yeah.
I mean, it's just bonkers.
Well, that's what Lord Stern said, and he was an top IMF economist.
Nicholas Stern,
working for World Bank. Lord Stern he is now, and you know, he's a big campaigner now on climate change.
So you speak it, hey,
and he's saying because with not doing anything, it's costing us anyway. Because when they're having these big floods, they're having then go in. There's all the damage for insurance companies are having to pay out for. You know, they're having you know, get thingies out for go through rivers for make them, you know, whatever. And well, if you look up in that one up in the Lake District where roads collapsed and they couldn't get to a certain town because roads were down. So all towns suffered the economic impact and nobody be able to get there.
Huge. I mean, huge.
And that's by us not acting because you know, freak weather and stuff is what we're going to get more of.
For sure.
So and you know, there's more better ways of tackling some of the immediate problems we're getting. For example, I was reading something about Pickering up in the North Yorkshire Moor. It had flooded about 6 years on run, and they put in a bid with government who said they were going to put these flood defences in Pickering, and then the government backslided on it and abandoned it. And some local environmental guy in the area said, "Oh well, this is a crap idea anyway. What you want to do is get up onto the moors and instead of damming things up, it's like what they were calling, is get like bits of wood like this and all these little rivulets running into the rivers and all that, put them in and they're like a soft, like when the water's coming down it slows it down. So basically, so what you're doing is you're keeping as much water up on the hillsides as you possibly can, so it's coming down slower. And they did this in Pickering. It cost a third of what the original plan was for building all these flood defences in Pickering. And last year there were no floods. All the neighbouring towns ended up with floods.
That's right. So that's for the future as well, isn't it?
So there's even more creative ways of attacking problems that you know, by not doing anything about climate change.
Right on, man. Well done.
Barbara is one of the inspiring, really inspiring locals who's been leading this fight. And I've asked her to say a few words about the kind of what's been going on here and the struggles. So take it away. Huge love and respect to Barbara.
It's a bit of a surprise for me, I have to say. Danny asked me to get up and speak, and those who know me well know I talk a lot, so you'll have to bear with me. I have to say, as a local resident, I am so inspired by all of you here today. I'm amazed at the union support we've got. It really makes you feel good inside to know that we've got the strength of the unions behind us, and that is going to make us extremely strong and overcoming what's going on behind here. Just to let you know, I was here on the very first day, the 5th of January, when Quadrilla unexpectedly started work unannounced, and it was all contrived. The BBC were here and so on, and there were about 5 people there that day, but bit by bit there are more and more people turning up here every day. I talked to a lady today who lives in Garstang near here, and it's her first time here, and that's what we want. We want more and more people who haven't been down here before to come and stand here, because numbers at the end of the day do count. The more people who are prepared to stand up and speak out against what we know is not right. This industry is not good, it's a backward step. Fossil fuels will always be a backward step. We need to be investing in clean energy. We have wind, we have solar, we have tidal. Why on earth we are investing in a dirty fossil fuel industry that will have few jobs, few sustainable jobs, when we can be investing in good, clean, renewable energy? And we need to put pressure on Parliament, on our local MPs, our local councillors, all the political fronts. That's where we need to be putting pressure. So as a resident who lives 500 metres from the one after this, the one at Rosica, can I just say from the bottom of our hearts, we are so pleased to have you supporting us and fighting for us, because one day this could affect everybody in this country. So we must stand firm and stand together. So thank you once again, everybody.